Polaroid we took in July, but the edges are bleeding, the colors are shy. I try to remember the sharpness of us, but the focus is failing, it's turning to dust. The outlines are jagged, the details are gone, like a smudged out horizon at the break of the dawn. The I love you whispered is a muffled out sound, like a radio station that can't quite be found. He didn't just leave you, just faded the light until everything certain was swallowed by white. I'm reaching for features, I'm grasping for bone, but I'm holding the shadow and standing alone. The contrast is dying, the shadows are gray. You let the resolution just flicker away. I'm squinting my eyes just to see what was real, but there's nothing but static and cold, heavy steel. You didn't just break it, you didn't just snap. You pulled all the ink from the heart of a map. The faces are melting, the memories are slur, a beautiful story that's turned to a blur. I'm losing the edges, the depth and the trust, 'cause you didn't leave, you let the love rust. No, you didn't just go, you let the love blur. Out of focus, out of reach, like the salt in the sand on a bleached out beach. Is it easier to let the image decay than to watch me and walk away? I'm looking at the Polaroid. I've tried to fill the corners with the sound of the rain. I've tried to drown the quiet with a different kind of pain. I bought a dozen candles just to see if they would glow, but the wax is just a puddle and the flicker's moving slow. I'm eating at the table, I'm sleeping in a chair, but I'm just a hollowed out skin in the middle of the air. The neighbors brought some flowers, I watched them turn to brown. I'm a king with no subjects in the shattered downtown. I've read 100 stories, I've watched 1,000 screens, but I'm stuck in the static of the my house. The more I pour inside me, the more it leaks away through the invisible cracks in the center of the day. I'm a vessel with no bottom, a well with no spring. I'm a clapperless bell that will never quite ring. I'm waiting for the better, I'm waiting for the new, but the space is still carved in the shape of the version of you. I've opened all the windows, I've unlocked every door, but the vacancy's screaming and wanting some more. It's not a healing process, it's not a steady climb, it's just a hollowed out desert at the edge of the time. The world is getting louder, the colors are deep, but I'm a barren land mountain that's starting too steep. I'm still breathing, but the echo is heavy. Yeah, the chest is wide open and the heart's still empty. Tempo drags into a cinematic, near stagnant crawl. The cello enters with a low dissonant note that feels like a slow downward spiral. Always become a vulnerable, breathy whisper, echo. Is there anyone home? Just the salt and the marrow and the bitter white bone. I'm a house with the electricity cut, a pair of eyes that are permanently shut. I've opened all the windows, I've unlocked every door, but the vacancy's screaming and wanting some more. It's not a healing process, it's not a steady climb, it's just a hollowed out desert at the edge of the time. The world is getting louder, the colors are deep, but I'm a barren land mountain that's starting too steep. I'm still breathing, but the echo is heavy. Yeah, the chest is wide open and the heart's still empty. Nothing moves, nothing grows, just the wind and the way the light goes. Heart still empty, heart still. The house isn't burning, the fire is done. We're standing in cinders and dodging the sun. Everything solid has turned into gray, just soft silver powder that's blowing away. I open my mouth just to scream out your name, but I taste the charcoal and ghost of the flame. The photos are edges of blackened out lace. I'm looking for heat in this hollowed out place. You're standing across from the kitchen, so still, with a heart made of flint and a frostbitten will. The air is so heavy, it's coating the walls like soot in the garden. and swallowing air. The wind is a whisper, the light is a blur. I'm searching for us in the way that we were. The spark is a memory, the heart is a stone. I'm standing in ruins and suffering alone. It's filling my lungs, it's a bitter dark taste, the remains of a kingdom that we went to waste. I can't find the oxygen, I can't find the flash. I'm just breathing in ash. Yeah, I'm breathing in air. Shifting through the debris, what is left of me? Just a handful of grime and a mountain of time. You're the smoke in the room, I'm the ghost in the gloom, inhaling the end of a beautiful doom. Where do I end? Where did you begin? Just dust and bone, and breathing in ash. Alone, alone. Gravity broke at 3:45. I don't feel the hardwood or cold of the floor. The ache in my chest is a distant star. I can see it glowing, but it feels so far. I've unhooked the cables, I've cut every tie. Watching the wreckage go drifting on by. Your name used to hit like a physical blow, a weight in my lungs that would never let go. But now it's a feather, a hollowed out sound, lost in the space where no echoes are found. The sorry you muttered is light as a ghost. I'm leaving the shore where it hurted the most. I'm not getting better, I'm just getting high, above all the thunder and bruise-colored sky. The oxygen's thin, but the silence is sweet. I finally pull the ground out from my feet. I'm not over the bridge, I'm not out of the rain, I'm just floating in orbit, high over the pain. The heartbreak is down there, a map in the dark, but up here the fire is just a faint spark. I'm suspended in blue, I'm untethered and free, where the ghost of your memory can't reach out for me. Don't pull me down, don't wake the vein, I'm finally floating past pain. Is it healing, or is it just numb? Wait for the feeling, it doesn't quite come. I'm a satellite in a permanent night, looking down at the war that I don't have to fight. I've got my arms wrapped around the shadow of the split, trying to find where the jagged parts fit. The edges are biting, they're drawing the red, but I'm terrified of the silence instead. If I let the pieces fall down to the floor, then you're really not here, not a ghost anymore. The hairline fractures are spreading like vines across the ceiling. The fading outlines, my knuckles are white and my shoulders are tight. I'm a damn made of paper in the middle of the night. People say drop it, they say let it go, but they don't see the vortex that's waiting below. If I loosen my grip, then the memory dies. I can feel the gravity behind my own eyes. I'm the only thing stopping the world turning black by holding the lightning and not giving back. I'm not moving forward, I'm not standing still. I'm fighting the weight of a hollowed out will. The heart is wide open, the wound is so deep, and I'm guarding the secrets that I shouldn't keep. My palms are all bleeding, my chest is an ache, but I'm staying here. I'm holding the breath. Just a little bit longer, just a breath in the dark. If I keep it together, can I see the last spark? But it's heavy, and the porcelain is turning to dust in my I'm not moving forward, I'm not standing still. I'm fighting the weight of a hollowed out will. The heart is wide open, the wound is so deep, and I'm guarding the secrets that I shouldn't keep. My palms are all bleeding, my chest is an ache, but I'm staying right here. I'm holding the break. Don't let it shiver, don't let it I'm holding the pieces, I'm holding it all. The clock on the mantle is tripping on its gears, repeating the minutes, repeating the fears. watching the dust mote suspended in light, like tiny gold anchors in the middle of the flight. I reach for the door, but the handle's a ghost. I'm stuck in the second that hurt it the most. The goodbye you said is a loop in my head, a digital shiver, a needle of lead. I'm trying to move, but the air is like glass. I'm watching the rest of the universe pass. The neighbors are aging, the seasons are new, but I'm still in the shadow of the version of you. The signal is breaking, the picture is torn between the sunset and a stillborn dawn. I'm a skip in the track, I'm a glitch in the frame, I'm a hollowed out echo of my own name. The world is a river that's rushing away, but I'm frozen in amber, I'm standing in delay. The hurt is a frequency, a persistent hum, waiting for the future that'll never quite come. I'm a ghost in the static, a feedback loop, falling through the center of a circular hoop. You're gone into distance, you're light years away, and I'm just a stutter, standing in delay. Standing in delay. Wait for the snap, the closing of the trap. Is it healing if the wound never closes? If the thorns are the only things left of the The world is a river that's rushing away, but I'm frozen in amber, I'm standing in delay. The hurt is a frequency, a persistent hum, waiting for the future that'll never quite come. I'm a ghost in the static, a feedback loop, falling through the center of a circular hoop. You're gone in the distance, you're light years away, and I'm just a stutter, standing in delay. Still here in the light, the white flag drag, standing in delay, standing in, standing in. Thought the saturation was finally here to stay, that the red in my cheeks wouldn't just wash away. But I'm waking up to a room that's losing its edge, a slow motion sliding off the liminal edge. I'm reaching for the warmth of the words that you spoke, but they're turning to silver, they're turning to smoke. We used to be a riot, a neon bright flare. Now I'm squinting my eyes just to see if you're there. The I love you is a ghost of a sound, like a radio signal that's gone underground. The outlines are blurring, the contrast is low. I'm watching the vibrancy start to let go. It's not a sudden darkness, it's not a clean break, it's just a dull, steady bleeding of the heart and the ache. I'm losing the features, I'm losing the light. Everything Everything certain is leaking in a white. I'm standing in the kitchen, but the floor is a blur. I'm forgetting in the way that we used to occur. It's a cycle of static, a predictable end, where the colors all break and the memories bend. I thought I found a fire that would finally remain, but I'm standing in the middle of a bleaching out rain. The heart is a canvas where the ink didn't pen. Love just faded again. The tempo drags into a cinematic, near stagnant crawl. The vocals become a breathy, vulnerable whisper layered with heavy reverb. A faint heartbeat like sub-bass pulse begins to slow down, then gray, then the washing away. Is it me, or the frequency? Is it the way that it's supposed to be? Just a shadow of a shadow. Love faded again, again, again. It wasn't a lightning bolt, wasn't a crash. It didn't turn everything instantly ash. It was the micro fissure, the grain in the wood, the fine that I said when I shouldn't have stood. A millimeter of distance at the end of the day, watching the vibrancy leaking away. The poison was patient, the toxin was sweet. It started like winter in the soles of my feet. A gradual numbing, a quiet wound chill, the slow motion breaking of a hollowed out will. I didn't notice the air getting thin until the cyanide finally moved in. I'm a mountain that's turned into red-colored sand, one grain at a time slipping out of my hand. I'm a tapestry unraveling thread by thin thread, living the gone while I'm still in the bed. It didn't just shatter, it didn't just blow. It was a steady drip torture that I didn't know. The erosion of us, the decay of the we, the glaciers of silence moving over the sea. I'm dying in inches, I'm fading in gray, a little more hollow with every new day. No, it wasn't a fever or a sudden death glow. Love hurt slowly, and I watched it go. Crushing of trust, second by second, by millisecond. The heart is a clock that's forgotten to tick. The healing is slow, but breaking was quick. That I paid. Love hurt slowly, slowly gone. Wasn't a lightning bolt. I'm huddling close to the ghost of a spark, but the pilot lights out in the middle of the dark. I remember the fever, the skin on skin burn, but the mercury's dropping at every turn. The breath in my lungs is a shimmer of white, a frozen out signal in the dead of the night. The tea on the table is a circle of ice. I'm paying the silence, I'm paying the price. My fingers are numb, they don't recognize touch. I guess that I wanted the fire too much. The blood in my veins is a sluggish blue stream, moving like molasses through a winter dead dream. The blankets are heavy, but they don't hold the glow. I'm watching the frost on the inside grow. I'm a house with no furnace, a hearth made of stone, just a hollowed out furnace, sitting alone. It wasn't a storm and it wasn't a crash. The wood just turned into a frozen out ash. The warmth that you gave was a loan, not a gift. And now there's a tectonic, permanent shift. I'm shaking so hard, but I'm turning to stone. The center is hollow, the marrow is bone. The radiator is clicking, but the rhythm is beat. 'Cause you didn't leave. My heart lost heat. The color of truth, the color of losing, the version of you. Is it peaceful to finally be cold, to let go of the stories that we never told? checked all the corners and under the bed. I've sifted through every word that we said. I looked in the places where secrets would hide, but the thumping has stopped in the center of my side. It's not that you're gone from the house or the street, it's the internal rhythm that's missing a beat. Compass is spinning, the needle is loose. I'm a knot in a rope that's forgotten its use. I can see a silhouette standing right there, but my pulse doesn't jump, it just gasps for the air. Chemical fire, the electric blue spark is just a black hole in the middle of the dark. I'm holding the map, but the landmarks are gone. A traveler waiting for a permanent dawn. I've got all the pieces, the blood and the bone, but I'm standing inside of a frequency dead zone. Ooh, I didn't just misplace the key to the door. I don't feel the pull of the earth anymore. The orbit is broken, the gravity's through. The part of me living, my heart lost you. It searched every chamber, it felt every vein, but it couldn't find us in the wash of the rain. Yeah, I'm still breathing, but the feeling is through. Because deep in the silence, my heart lost you. Searching the static, scanning the void. Everything sacred has been decoyed. Are you a ghost or am I the shell? Ringing a silent and cracked open bell. Misplace the key to the door. I don't feel the pull of the earth anymore. The orbit is broken, the gravity's through. The part of me living, my heart lost you. It searched every chamber, it felt every vein, but it couldn't find us in the wash of the rain. Yeah, I'm still breathing, but the feeling is through. Because deep in the silence, my heart lost you. Signal lost, the heavy cost, so I'm looking, but I'm blind. I've left the version of us way behind. My heart lost you, and I'm next. The shouting got quiet, the fever just broke. I'm breathing in shadows and exhaling smoke. I waited for panic, I waited for tears to wash out the salt of these wasted out years. But the pulse in my wrist is a rhythmic low, like the tide pulling back from a broken down hole. The bruises are turning a pale shade of blue. They don't throb the way that they did just that the exit has finally been sealed. The storm is still howling, the windows still shake, but I've run out of pieces for you to go break. I'm sinking through layers of velvet and ink, too tired to swim and too heavy to think. The fire didn't die, it just ran out of air. I look for the hurt, but there's nothing is there. The weight of the anchor was too much to keep, so I let go the rope and I dove for the deep. No more alarms, no more drastic and steep. My heart gave up fighting, my heart sank asleep. I'm watching the bubbles drift up to the light, small silver ghosts of a lost cause fight. Down where it's freezing, the pressure is kind, it's numbing the edges of what's on my mind. You're a sound on the surface, a muffled out scream, but I'm lost in the folds of a heavy lead dream. Let the water move in, let the silence begin. I'm too far below for the wire or the wind, just a steady decline, crossing the line between being yours and finally mine. There's nothing is there. The weight of the anchor was too much to keep, so I let go the rope and I dove for the deep. No more alarms, no more drastic and steep. My heart gave up fighting, my heart sank asleep. Good night to the break. Good night to the ache down in the dark, for peace of mind's sake. It's sinking, it's gone. The rhythm is tired, the drummer has left, the chest in the mirror is hollow and bereft. I'm watching the pendulum swing in the hall, but it's losing its reach, it's beginning to stall. Your name used to kick like a storm in the blood, now it's just silt at the bottom of the flood. I'm turning the heat up to feel like a flame, but the skin stays as cold as the ink on your name. The rush and the fever, the high and the fast, Ghosts in the attic, shadows of the past. I'm counting the seconds, they're stretching so wide, like a desert that's growing and thirsting inside. The adrenaline's gone, the panic is dry. I'm a kite in the dirt with the fear of the sky. I'm not in a hurry, I've nowhere to be, but the quiet is drowning the center of me. The engine is humming in a broken down tune under the light of a cold white moon. It's not a collapse, it's a steady decline, a slow motion fading of the life support line. The fire didn't scream, it didn't even moan, it just ran out of fuel. My heart slowed alone. Tempo drags into a cinematic near stagnant crawl. The cello pulls a note so low it feels like a vibration in the floor. Thought the gaps are getting longer. Is the silence getting stronger? I'm drifting asleep in a house made of ice, paying the lethargy, paying the price. Just a flicker, just a haze, walking through the numbness of the remaining days. It's slowing, it's almost I've scrubbed the floors and I've bleached the sheets. I've walked the pavement of 1,000 streets. I told my mind to delete the file, to burn the memory of your crooked smile. But the body has a ledger of secret ink that bleeds through the surface before I can think. The coffee's bitter, the morning is cold. A story of us that is getting too old. I keep the window shut to keep out the air, but I'm still breathing in the you that was there. My brain is a desert, parched and dry, but the clouds are gathering behind my eye. I can lie to the near, I can lie to the wrong. I can pretend I'm not living in gloom, but the skin has a memory, the chest has a weight, and the water is rising at the edge of the gate. My head says it's over, my mouth says I'm fine, but the soul from my cheek is a different line. The tracing of shadows, the stinging of blue, the physical language of losing all you. I've forgotten the dates, I've forgotten the number, but the well in my lashes will always remember. I'm a silent survivor of a shattered up ember. My heart is a ghost, but my tears remember. Liquid history, the mystery of why the air is so slippery. Falling in rivers, falling in shivers. everything. I've been keeping my mouth shut, keeping it still, building a dam with a hollowed out will. I told the neighbors I'm doing just fine, that I'm just a little bit short on the line. But my eyes are a weather map, heavy and gray, ready to let the whole ocean away. The salt on my skin is a map of the earth, tracing the winds and the shadows and dust. I don't have to speak for the story to show. It's written rivers that finally flow down past the jawline and into the shirt, the physical language of buried down hurt. The words are too small, they're just clutter and noise, lost in the wreckage of half-broken toys. But the water is honest, the water is clear, it's the only truth that is left in here. My voice is a liar, it says I'm okay, but the flood in the lashes is giving away the secrets I'm keeping, the weight of the stone, the terror of being so truly alone. They see what I'm hiding, they see what I've lost. They're counting the wreckage and measuring cost. I'm a silent survivor of the shattered up wing. My heart is a desert, but my tears know everything. Wash the mask away, wash the yesterday. Let the salt and the heavy lead gray tell the truth that I cannot say. Every drop is a page in the book, just look, just look. My voice is a liar, it says I'm okay, but the flood in the lashes is giving away the secrets I'm keeping, the weight of the stone, the terror of being so truly alone. They see what I'm hiding, they see what I've lost. They're counting the wreckage and measuring cost. I'm a silent survivor of the shattered up wing. My heart is a desert, but my tears know everything. They know the why, they know the gone. They're the only ones staying on. Tears know everything, everything, everything. looking for the edges of where I begin, but the borders are gone and the surface is thin. I try to find a memory that doesn't have your name, but every single candle is burning with your flame. I'm a house with no foundation, a bridge with no shore. I don't know how to be a person anymore. The morning is a vacuum, the coffee is a ghost. I'm haunted by the version of the me I love the most, the one who had a gravity, the one who had a light before you took the sun and left a permanent night. I'm checking all my vitals, but the monitor is flat. I'm a hollowed out shadow in a room where you sat. I didn't just lose a partner, I didn't lose a part. I lost the very machinery of my own heart. I'm reaching for the steering wheel, but the hands are mine. I'm just a fading signal on a broken down line. You weren't just a season, you weren't just a phase. You were the syntax of all of my days, the oxygen in every breath, the marrow in the bone. Now I'm just a frequency sitting alone. I'm a book with no pages, a bell with no ring. I'm a hollowed out nothing of a beautiful thing. The universe is vacant, the center is a hole, 'cause you are my everything, and you took the whole. The tempo drags into a cinematic near stagnant note. The cello pulls along dissonant note that feels like it's about to snap. Focus become a vulnerable breathy whisper to find me, find me, blind me, blind me. If you're not the why, then there is no how. I'm just a body with no here and no now. Everything is a my thing. The us is dust. I'm just the echo of a life I can't trust. You were my everything, and now I'm empty. I'm looking in the mirror, but the glass is just blank. A vessel that's empty, a ship that has sank. I try to find the need that left under the skin, but the walls are all paper, the ceiling is thin. You didn't just leave with your bags and your coat. You took the very breath that was inside my throat. But I'm walking through rooms like a guest in a house, quiet and small as a dying out mouse. There's no weight to my step, there's no grip in my hand. I'm a scattering of salt on a white-colored sand. I thought I was solid, I thought I was whole, but I'm just the outline of a beautiful whole. I'm a body of water with the tide pulled away, a moon that's forgotten, the light of the day. I'm reaching for substance, I'm grasping for bone, but the center is static and sitting alone. I didn't lose a love, I didn't lose a friend. I lost the very fabric of the beginning and end. A ghost in the machine, the spark in the coal. I'm a hollowed out shell, 'cause you are my soul. Where did I go in the undertow? Am I just a reflection of a person you know? If you're not beside me, then who's in this skin? The vacancy's screaming. Where do I begin? The echo of a name you once said, a book with no ink that'll never be read. You are my soul, and you're the silvery polished has turned into gray, a slow motion poison, a steady decay. I noticed the hinges were starting to groan whenever we spoke in that hollowed out tone. But I kept the grease and I kept the light on, hiding the cracks till the structure was gone. Her touch used to spark like a wire in the rain. Now it's just friction, a dull, heavy pain. We sat in the garden and watched the gates turn from iron to powder, with nothing to burn. I asked for a man, but you looked at the sky and watched the corrosion take hold of your eye. It's not that you broke it or threw it away, you just let the dampness move into the day. You stood in the garden and folded your hands, while the gold in our veins turned to red-colored sands. You didn't ignite it, you didn't just bust. You stood in the silence and you let feeling rust. Now the gears are all frozen, the engine is cold, a story of copper that never grew old. I'm pulling the lever, but nothing will move. We're stuck in the grid of a broken down groove. The shine is a memory buried in dust, 'cause you didn't leave, you just let feeling rust. I'm tasting the metal, it's thick on my tongue, the ghost of the songs that we should have had sung. I try to scrub back to the heart of the steel, but the more that I rub, the less I can feel. The surface is flaking, it's falling apart. There's an orange-red winter inside of your heart. You just let feeling rust. It's orange and brown, the house falling down, just a pile of scrap on the floor. You let it all rust. Now I don't feel it, no, I don't feel it anymore. I'm tapping my fingers on the edge of the glass, waiting for the cadence to finally pass. But the air is a vacuum, the pulse has gone flat. I'm looking for the one, but it's never quite at the swing of your walk or the beat of your heart. Everything's syncopated, falling apart. The radio's humming a song You didn't just break it, you didn't just bend. You stole the vibration and called it the end. The swing in my step and the blood in my veins are caught in the silence of what still remains. I'm a record that's skipping, I'm covered in dust, searching for music in the shadows and rust. My soul is a desert, my hands are just thin, 'cause you took the rhythm and left me the din. That's lost at ocean almost drop, waiting for a bar that never arrives. The silent conductor of half-broken You didn't just break it, you didn't just bend. You stole the vibration and called it the end. The swing in my step and the blood in my veins are caught in the silence of what still remains. I'm a record that's skipping, I'm covered in dust, searching for music in shadows and rust. My soul is a desert, my hands are just thin, 'cause you took the rhythm and left me the din. No more tempo, no more flow, just the echo of where you used to go. 1, 2, 2, 2, nothing.
The song begins with the sound of a heavy wooden door clicking shut, followed by a long trailing echo. A slow, lonely piano prelude begins, each note spaced out, falling like a heavy tear into a pool of deep reverb. A faint, low-frequency synth-pad hums beneath, creating a cold, hollow atmosphere.
The hallway is longer than it was an hour ago. The shadows are stretching, they're starting to grow. I'm standing in the vacuum you left in the air, looking at the space where you didn't even care to gather the memories or take the last look. You just closed the cover on a half-finished book. I'm listening for footsteps, but the floor is just stone. The silence is a monster that I'm facing alone. I thought there'd be lightning, I thought there'd be rain, but it's just the dull thud of a phantom in pain. You didn't run out, and you didn't just fly. You just turned your shoulder to the sun in my sky. I'm reaching for the heat that was here just a breath ago, but the temperature's dropping, it's starting to snow. Inside of my chest where the fire used to be, there's just a hollowed out cage and a ghost of me. You didn't scream and you didn't just break. You didn't leave a ripple on the top of the lake. With a steady hand and a frostbitten heart, you watched the whole universe just falling apart. And you walked away like it was nothing at all, left me to crumble and left me to fall. drags into a cinematic, near stagnant crawl. Oh, the cello enters with a low weeping note that feels like a slow downward spiral. Opals become a vulnerable, breathy whisper. One step, two, but nothingness grew. 3 steps, 4, the closing of the door. You're a dot on the horizon, a blur in the light, walking me into a permanent night. You didn't scream and you didn't just break. You didn't leave a ripple on the top of the lake. With a steady hand and a frostbitten heart, you watched the whole universe just falling apart. And you walked away like it was nothing at all. Left me to crumble and left me to fall. The distance is growing, the colors are gray. 'Cause you didn't leave, you just walked away. Still walking, still fading. The air is so thin. Where does the gone finally begin? You walked away, and I'm still standing. The clock on the wall is just killing the time, measuring silence in the rhythm of grime. I'm tracing the dust where your picture once sat, a hollowed out frame, a ghost of a fact. The floorboards are sleeping, they don't recognize the weight of a person with void in their eye. I'm pouring 2 glasses and drinking for one, tracing the orbit of a setting sun. The sweater you left is a heavy blue wave, anchor of wool at the edge of the gate. I'm whispering stay to a shimmering air, but the more that I look, the less you are there. The walls are expanding, the ceiling is high. I'm a bird in a room with a painted on sky. I reach for the door, but the handle is cold. I'm losing the grip on the story we told. You didn't just leave, you didn't just go. You walked into absence where nothing can grow. A flicker of static, a shadow in white. The king of the day turned to dust in the night. Now I'm screaming your name in a hollowed out space, searching for features on a blank canvas face. You're a beautiful echo I can't quite defend. you feel near. You walked into absence where nothing can grow. A ghost in the static, a shadow in white. The king of the day turned to dust in the night. Now I'm screaming your name in a hollowed out space, searching for features on a blank canvas face. You're a beautiful echo I can't quite defend. You walked into absence, and I'm at the end. I'm still here, waiting at the border of the gone, watching the sunset, but never the dawn. You walked into absence and left the light on.